Hi everyone. Cost planning is a very special and important skill for any quantity surveyor, irrespective who you're working for. If you are at the client side, sometimes you might be asked to set up a budget for a new development. In case you are working for a QS consulting firm, you would be required to prepare cost planning to control the construction cost during project development. And if you are a contractor's QS, you might have to prepare cost plan summary in order to compare the tender submission cost with the previous cost data in order to ensure your submission price is accurate and reasonable for that standard. So my name is Thanh Tung Nguyen. I am a quantity surveyor and project manager. In this last videos of the series cost planning, I will talk through the cost planning overview and pre-project budgets. I also want to discuss about some confused definitions in cost planning, including gross floor area GFAs and some relevant building costs and road project costs. And I also talk through the cost plan summary for a project. And toward the end of this video, I will demonstrate how to use Qubit software to reduce a project cost summary with gross floor area. And we should identify and define what is the cost planning and its purpose and benefits. Of course, there are many definitions about the cost planning, but from my point of view, the cost planning is to set up a budget from the beginning of a project and then control that budget by estimating the cost based on available information and design. And another benefits of cost planning is to have a cost data for future development. We can use this to prepare a budget based on our cost data. And another example I would highlight is that for tenders, some contractors they even don't do the takeoff for quantities and cost estimation during the tender. They just use their cost data based on cost per square meter and submit tenders for lump sum contracts. And during the construction development, they will take up the quantity for implementation. I think that's very important and really creative things in tendering. And the second thing is we should not confuse between the cost planning and cost estimating. Cost planning, as I have said, is the process of setting up a budget and then control that budget during design development. Cost estimating is estimating cost of a project based on available information, including design and other specifications. So sometimes people may confuse between cost planning and cost estimating, especially those who are not working for the client side or consulting firm. So the first steps are preparing cost planning is to set up the budgets for new developments, or we can say a brief cost estimate. Um, as this stage, there are not many available informations. We have just uh, the information for requirement of new developments, such as the size, the levels of finishes, the floor or total areas of new projects. And for that limited information, we cannot do a cost estimating with more accurate level. So in this situation, we will prepare a budget, or we call brief cost. To do that, we have to have the functional units, or functional unit cost, or functional area and functional per square meters that we can refer from our benchmark data or historical cost data. For example, in this table, the building A with 25 floors, the number of units is 90 units, and functional unit cost for each unit is 400,000, and the total cost we can multiply the number of units by the functional unit cost, the total 36 million, and we do it so on and so forth. And for this technique, I already discussed in the previous video. If you want to have more information, you can refer to my previous video, or another way is to refer to the Australian Cost Management Manual or any others reliable documents if you like. Moving forward, before discussing about the cost plan summaries, I would highlight some very important parameters that we should have on place before calculations the cost plan summary. The first very important one is the gross floor area, or GFA. Many of us who are working construction industry uh, have heard about the gross floor area and construction floor area, and um, many in many situations we may use the GFA or CFA to calculate the construction cost per square meters, but um, there may be some misunderstanding in between gross floor area and construction floor area. So according to the Australian cost management manual, the gross floor areas is equal to figure plus UCAs. For example, in here, the GFA is equal to 1,000 square meter figure plus 10 square meters of UCA is equal to 1,010 meter. And in this here, the elevations of a simple building, there are 5 floors, and each floor has 1,010 square meters, and total GFA for this building is 5,050 meters. And one thing I should highlight is that for FECA, we just calculate fully enclosed cover area, the fully enclosed areas. That means they have the wall covering, and the cover is the top must be have something covering on the top. For the floor without any cover on the top, we cannot calculate as a figure. So in that basis, the roofing and the top basement we should not calculate as a GFA. I noticed that some people may misunderstand and calculate to include the rooftop and the rooftop of basement. And UCA, the unenclosed cover area, is usually referred to the balcony. Another important issue I should highlight when preparing the cost plan summaries is the confusions of some definitions. Take this plan as an example. This is a new project development. There are 3 buildings, building A, building B, and building C, and below these 3 buildings is a full house basement for 3 buildings, and the external work will be carried out on top of the basement, on the rooftop of the basement. So we have to separate and prepare the respective cost for this building. Otherwise, we will include the external work and force payments for this building cost. So in the building cost, we should include only a cost of the building and elements within the buildings, and under the buildings only exclude contingencies, external works on the above of the basement rooftop, and other relevant costs such as project management costs and consultants and design costs. So keep in mind, building costs only deals with the cost of buildings and basements only. For basements, because we have a full basement, so we should do the apportions of the cost of these payments for the respective buildings based on their total square areas, and also the preliminary cost we also can apportion for this building. And another important is project cost. gross project cost is building cost plus the other cost that excludes in the building cost. That is very simple and straightforward. And as for the multiple building license projects, we have to do the separate cost summary for each building, and then we will combine in one total project summaries. To do that, we can identify the building cost for each building and the total cost for the whole project. So after clarifications of some important definitions such as roof floor areas, building cost, uh, project cost, and the format of cost summaries, now we can start making the cost planning summary the most popular and common language for those who are working in the industry. In this format, as you can see, first we will have the gross floor areas, square meters, and the element group includes substructure, superstructure, finish, fitting services, robotion of preliminary building, and this elemental cost will form the building cost total. As you can see, it excludes a site preparation, road, footpath, and pay area, barrier, landscaping, everything not within and below the building. So after making this building cost total, we will use the GFA rate. We will identify the GFA rate by uh, dividing elemental cost to the gross floor area. For example, for substructure, the total elemental cost for the substructure is 2 million. After dividing by 5,000 gross floor areas, we will have the gross floor area rate for this elemental substructure is $400 per square meter, and the percentage of this elemental cost substructure is 7%. To do so on and so forth for other elemental cost such as superstructure, finishing, fitting, we will have the building cost total. And as mentioned before, we should not include the external work into the building cost total. And we also then be able to identify the net project cost and the GFI rate and elemental cost, and adding some other costs such as the design fees, approval fee, risk allowance, and other client sum, and contingencies. We can, and remember the contingency for construction cost will be put at the project cost, and by doing so we can come up with the cost planning summary. Is very important because even this cost planning is often prepared by the QS consultants. The Quantity surveyor from the client side and the contractor should be able to understand and prepare on demand, because by assessing the cost planning summary such as the GFA or elemental cost, we can identify which one is abnormal and can identify the errors made by the quantity surveyors from consulting firm. As for the contractor, you can use this to assess whether the tender price is reasonable or not. Based on what we have discussed earlier, we will use the Gibi software to calculate GFA for a building project and apply this GFA to calculate an initial budget for this project. You can see in the estimate field, I have imported a template, the price list, in which it has the building cost, time adjustment, external work, locality adjustment, special revisions, and here I include a new column for the job percentage and cost per square meter, in which we will import the GFA. We will calculate GFA and factor in this startup bar and a usual quantity unit rate. So now I will measure the GFA for three level 1, level 2, level 3. In the viewport, I already imported the 3 drawing for level 1, level 2, level 3. We will start measuring GFA for the level 1 first. So through that, I will click to level 1, and in the result tab, I choose the area, and in here I choose polyline, and in the text code I will change the shape to level 1, and then I start measuring. Remember, I will measure the inside wall. A snap object here, click employ, click here, now I will start measuring the GFA for level 1. First we click to level 1 and choose result tab, and click the polyline and change the direction to level 1, and start measuring. Remember, we measure the inside wall, not outside. Here I will zoom out for you. From here I click here, and then I click here, and here, sorry, here, here, how, and relay, and then here, 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 right click to close the polyline. Then we will have the quantity 1378. Then now we will drag and drop this GFA to the starter bar GFA here. To do that, I will click the other item first, then drag and drop to GFA here. You can see now the GFA for level 1 already added to the starter bars. And you can see here the cost per square meter and job percentage only factor in the trade cost, building cost. So for what reason the level 2 you really like, but for what reason I cannot measure the GFA for this drawing in the viewport. So I will sum the quantity is 800 square meter. Okay, and in that case I cannot drag and drop the area from the viewport to GFA started bar, so I will do manually by clicking to this one and right plus 800 and click OK. So it will update our total GFA to 2177. The level 3 will click the level 3 item and choose the result tab area and change the level of the viewport to level 3. We have a moment for the software loading plan, and I will click to level 3 again. Here I change to level 3 and choose polyline, and now we can see the icon plus appear. Remember that the GFA, the figure is applied for enclosed area, so we cannot measure the whole area of the item for level 3. We just can measure GFA for those who have the floor and enclosed by the wall areas and with the top roof. In here is only this area have top roof. I will start measuring the inside wall. Right click to close window. You will see the level 3 with the GFA 107. I will click to travel engineering in order to drag and drop this area to the GFA started bar. Now it's only at this 100 square meter to the GFA started bar. So now you can see we have our cost plan for the initial purchase already appear here. I will check the data and tray. Okay, we hang on for a moment. Now we have the trade breakup. I can change to initial budget, and we can see we have our building cost level 1, level 2, level 3, and time adjustment 7%, site work for external services, site preparation, and so on. Location index 2%, contract contingency, and mentioned earlier, the contract contingency, we should not do the assumption as deterministic, but we should carry out the assessment, risk assessment based on probabilistic methods, so that we can measure, we can identify the risk cost properly, but the next time I don't think we can finish the risk assessment in this video. I will make the another video for that, so we will finish our calculation of the cost for initial budgets. Thank you for watching the video. So to wrap up, in this video, I already discussed about the methodology to set up a budget and control budgets during design developments for cost planning. On top of that, I highlight that there are some confused terminologies and calculations. For example, the gross floor areas, building cost, and gross project cost. We need to be able to distinguish between them in order to avoid misunderstanding when calculating the cost plan summary. And I also discuss some benefits of elemental cost. For example, we can identify which is the average cost per square meters of a project and the respective elemental cost per square meters with the pertinent percentage cost, so that we are able to compare whether a cost plan prepared by a quantity surveyor firm is reasonable and accurate or not. On the side of the contractor, we can use these parameters to check whether our tender submissions are reasonable and accurate or not, to avoid dispute and underestimated when submission is very important. And the final step, I have demonstrated some techniques to do the cost plan summary and cost planning by using Quantity software. In addition, I also have showcased how to input GFAs in the Quantity software, and that's what I want to discuss in this video. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.